Hey everyone, this is Tanya and Slava. We are flying now from Buenos Aires in Argentina to Ushuaia, the southernmost point of the country, to board our ship and start on a cruise to Antarctica. This is the trip we dreamed about for about 3 years, and we're just about to make it happen. We have learned that Ushuaia is often called the end of the world. Located in the southern tip of Argentina, it is the main gateway to Antarctica and one of the most southernmost cities on Earth. Here we boarded SH Diana, a modern expedition ship designed specifically for polar travel. Upon boarding, we were offered a drink, and then another one. Not exactly what you expect from a scientific expedition ship, honestly. It quickly became clear that SH Diana strikes a balance: serious exploration combined with a surprisingly high level of comfort and hospitality.
We are leaving Ushuaia, and I'm going to show you the beauty that surrounds us.
To reach Antarctica, we had to cross the Drake Passage, one of the most unpredictable stretches of ocean in the world. Known for its powerful wind and rough seas, it's often a real test for travelers. But we were extremely lucky and experienced a calm crossing. Though we didn't experience a lot of waves during the Drake Passage, we still had some nausea, as most of the people on the ship, and so we had to take some pills. However, please note, even the stairs were tricky to climb at that time. I'll go for the champagne too, thank you. Great, thank you. Despite of all the shaking, you can still go outside and enjoy the views, or even go for a swim in a nice warm pool. Swan Hellenic also provides the jackets, which I actually recommend wearing while you're exploring outside. The crew won't let you starve. A variety of international dishes is offered throughout this journey. Our first landing in Antarctica was Half Moon Island, a small crescent-shaped island surrounded by icy Antarctic waters. By then, we have already seen our first icebergs and penguins, a clear sign that we had truly arrived in Antarctica. This remote place feels incredibly far from civilization, where the only sounds are the wind, the waves, and the wildlife. The land and surrounding waters are protected under international agreements to preserve this fragile environment in its purest form.
Are you ready to step onto Antarctic land?
Definitely.
Well, I feel like a little teeny tiny teddy bear. Not so tiny.
Well, we had to put some layers on. All boots and gear must be carefully cleaned before every landing to prevent introducing anything into the penguin colonies or transferring potential diseases. This is no joke, and these biosecurity measures are taken very seriously. Some of these penguins are in their molting period, which means they are unable to swim.
This is our first landing.
And we certainly encountered Antarctic fur seals, fast, curious, and territorial.
We are so lucky with the weather. The sun is shining, it's so warm, and the sky is so blue. That is incredible. It is very unusual for that time of the year.
Landings in Antarctica are carefully controlled. In most cases, no more than 100 passengers are allowed ashore at one time. This helps minimize impact on the environment and ensures wildlife is not disturbed. Antarctica's wildlife exists in a delicate balance. Penguins and fur seals often share the same shores, living side by side in this harsh environment. Despite the cold and constant exposure to the elements, life here thrives in its own rhythm. Simple, resilient, and perfectly adapted. Watching these animals interact in such a remote and untouched place feels both peaceful and extraordinary. Here we were surrounded by humpback whales, dozens of them all around us. At times it felt like a true whale hotel because they were mostly taking a nap in the surrounding waters. We even had a chance to kayak nearby those whales, gliding through icy waters dotted with floating ice, sharing the space with these incredible creatures. Approaching whales, like all wildlife in Antarctica, must be done slowly and carefully. Visitors are required to avoid disturbing the animals, keeping movements calm and controlled to respect their natural behavior. Antarctica reveals many different forms of ice, each with its own character. Some ice appears bright white, filled with trapped air bubbles that scatter the light. But over time, as the ice is compressed and those air bubbles are forced out, it becomes denser, turning a deep, striking blue. In certain conditions, the ice can even appear dark or almost black, especially when it's very dense or wet, absorbing rather than reflecting light. For those looking for a perfectly valid reason to have a shot of vodka at 10 in the morning, the Polar Plunge has you covered. A quick jump into Antarctic waters at around 0 degrees Celsius, and suddenly it all makes sense. It is a full body shock that wakes you up instantly, boosts adrenaline, and, at least in theory, does wonders for blood circulation. Whether or not it's actually good for you is up for debate, but it certainly feels like an achievement. Freezing, slightly irrational, and surprisingly fun. And yes, vodka at the end is well deserved. Humpback whales are among the most remarkable creatures in the ocean. They can live for 50 years, and adults typically weigh between 25 and 40 tons and can reach lengths of up to 16 meters. Despite their enormous size, humpbacks feed on some of the smallest life in the ocean, mainly krill and small fish. In Antarctica, they take advantage of the rich feeding grounds during the summer, consuming vast quantities of krill each day to build up energy reserves for migration. The whales are known for their long-distance migrations, traveling thousands of kilometers between cold feeding areas and warmer breeding waters. Humpbacks are also famous for their complex songs, long, structured vocalizations that can travel great distances underwater. These songs are believed to play a role in communicating and mating, and they can evolve over time within whale populations. In terms of behavior, whales are surprisingly active. They breach, slap their fins and tails on the water, and interact with their surroundings in ways that are still not fully understood. However, many believe that they are doing this for fun. Seeing dozens of humpback whales together in Antarctic waters is a powerful reminder of both fragility and the resilience of marine life. Antarctica is covered by an immense ice sheet that spans around 14 million square kilometers, nearly the size of the United States and Mexico combined. In some places, ice is more than 4 kilometers thick, holding about 70% of the world's fresh water. Antarctica is still one of the least visited places on Earth, but tourism here has been growing steadily. In the 2024-25 season, around 120,000 people made the journey to the continent. Oh, there is another whale in the distance. Well, the most important part about this place for us is that we finally made it to our 7th continent. We've been to the previous 6, but this completes the trip around the world. As we've been saying before, most visitors arrive on expedition ships, and the entire tourist fleet is relatively small, roughly 50 operators and around 60 vessels operating each season. These ships are carefully regulated. Smaller expedition vessels are the ones allowed to make landings.
Here's to the 7th continent! Cheers!
Cheers! We've made it to Duroch Island. It is a small, remote island off the Antarctic Peninsula, known for its rich wildlife and quiet, untouched atmosphere. It is home to colonies of gentoo penguins, along with seabirds and occasional seals resting along the shore. The landscape is a mix of rocky terrain, patches of snow, and views of surrounding ice and mountains. Guess what? Yeah, we also kept drinking even while traveling on the Zodiacs. So, cheers to it all. Gourdin Island is unique because it brings together 3 different penguin species: Adelie, Chinstrap, and Gentoo, each with its own habits and adaptations. Also, we saw quite a few Antarctic sheathbills, which look like this. Rare sight of a white sea lion. Gentoo penguins are slightly larger and are known for their bright orange beaks and white stripe across the head. These animals rarely encounter humans. This is why fur seals and penguins weren't running away, but rather looked at us curiously and just kept walking. Having a chance of getting that close to them is actually a great gift and a great responsibility. It is quite common to see penguins resting on drifting ice floes, using them as a place to pause between feeding trips. These floating platforms give them a chance to conserve energy, stay out of the water, and watch their surroundings. In the vast Antarctic landscape, even a small piece of ice becomes a temporary home, a quiet moment of rest in an otherwise very demanding environment.
Make a
And here we've got a few chin-strap penguins named for the thin black line under their heads. These guys are quite energetic and vocal. Our next stop, the Elephant Island, one of the most remote and dramatic places in Antarctica where landings are rare. We've got really lucky. This island is known for its history. This is where that Ernst Shackleton's crew found refuge during their legendary expedition. And for the Instagram lovers, this is where you actually take staged photos, though I must honestly admit by that time I almost froze to death, and the coffee got cold too. Point Wild is a small rocky stretch of land on Elephant Island and one of the most historic spots in Antarctica. It is here that 22 members of Shackleton's expedition survived for over 4 months in blistering cold with very limited supplies. A rare bust here honors Luis Villalon, Chilean captain who rescued Shackleton's crew from this island in 1916. We weren't able to get any closer because there were too many penguins in front of us waiting in the line to get to it. One rarely sets foot here. Our team leader told us that during the 9 seasons in Antarctica, this is the first time he managed to land here. And back to the penguins, who are well adapted to ice. Their claws are strong and slightly curved, allowing them to grip onto icy and rocky surfaces and keep balance even on slippery ground. Their bodies are also well positioned slightly forward, helping them to stay stable. They push themselves out of the water using strong kicks from their feet and tail. The streamlined bodies help them reduce resistance, and with enough momentum they can pop straight out of the water onto the ice in one smooth motion. But don't get me wrong, this is not easy. We got lucky to see fin whales, who are the second largest animals on Earth just after the blue whales. They can grow up to 25 meters long and are known for their sleek, streamlined bodies and incredible speed, often called the greyhounds of the sea. We got lucky with the weather. We just came back and it's clear that now those Instagram photos that we decided to stage wouldn't be possible because it's already too foggy. Weather changes really quickly here, so you get a chance, take your chance. I'll say for both of us, I believe that South Georgia is the most magnificent place that we visited with Tanya. It is full of life, is famous for incredible species that live here. Huge colonies of king penguins gather along these beaches, alongside elephant seals and fur seals, and the scenery here is just magnificent. Landing in South Georgia is never guaranteed because of harsh weather, strong swells, and strict environmental rules. There is no permanent population here, just a few researchers and support staff, and the island is managed with a strong focus on protecting wildlife. Waters around South Georgia are also tightly regulated. A large marine area is extending several hundred kilometers offshore with strict controls of fishing and access. On land, wildlife comes first. Visitors are required to move carefully, not to step on someone, and maintain safe distance. This is sometimes the biggest challenge, as you'll see, because it's simply not possible to get away from these guys. They are quite curious. I don't remember how many times I said that we were lucky. Gold Harbour is one of the most spectacular landing sites on South Georgia and probably the most memorable. It's alive with wildlife.
Let's try not to walk on the penguins. Give them the distance that they need, all right?
Over 1 million of king penguins live here in total, but thousands gather along fur seals and elephant seals on this particular narrow strip of land. South Georgia is home to hundreds of thousands of king penguins at a single colony like Salisbury Plain, and millions of penguins across the island overall. It is one of the most important penguin habitats on the planet. There were plenty of elephant seals and fur seals there. Really different personalities sharing the same coastline. Elephant seals are massive and slow moving on land, often just lying in large groups and barely reacting to anything around them. Probably they are too large to care. Males can weigh several tons and are easy to recognize by their large, trunk-like noses. Despite their size, they spend most of their lives in the ocean, diving to incredible depths. Fur seals, on the other hand, are much smaller, faster, and far more energetic. They were attacking us quite often and trying to bite. They move quickly, can be very curious and territorial at the same time, and are often the ones to keep an eye on when walking along the beach.
Вот только что эта хитрая морда на нас напала. Он похож на Джабу Хатта. Penguins.
Well, it looks like we've just met Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars, but in elephant seal form. St. Andrews Bay is one of the most iconic places in South Georgia and one of the largest king penguin colonies in the world. Tens of thousands of penguins cover the beach.
Interesting place this. There's a lot of wildlife in there today.
King penguins are known for their striking appearance. They are tall, elegant, with bright orange markings on their neck and head. Fearless as well. They are the second largest penguin species after emperor penguins. This whole place reminded me of Austrian Alps, but imagine seeing penguins and fur seals instead of cows there on the green grass. Beautiful and amazing. Well, we've learned the hard way that fur seals are territorial, fearless, and will try to bite you. Well, you're not getting a piece of me this time, macho. We made it to the colony. My jaw dropped here, so I'll just let you enjoy the views.
Совсем близко подошли. Совсем малыш.
Could as well be the most breathtaking part of the trip, but I urge you to watch further. There is still a lot to come. Grytviken is an abandoned historic settlement on South Georgia, once a major whaling station, and now one of the few places with a small human presence. Today it also hosts a museum, a research station, a cemetery, where Shackleton is buried.
Оттуда. И идем сюда. У меня грязь на спине.
You may want to take note of several post addresses for your friends and relatives, because you will have the unique opportunity to send back a postcard from one of the most remote locations in the world. Also, the post shop features a number of souvenirs you can actually consider. We certainly did send a postcard back to ourselves, but remember, it'll take a while to get delivered from here. We also visited the local museum, which tells the story of South Georgia's past. Not necessarily really nice or beautiful, from the whaling area to modern conservation efforts. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of whales were killed here for processing purposes. But unfortunately, this is what the economy overall required at that time. Luckily, this has been stopped, and the international community is trying to help whales recover.
Tea time, cookie time.
Early morning we went for another hike. We spent about 4 hours plus crossing the island on foot, hiking over the hills from one side to another. The terrain was rugged and wild, with changing views, but we also got some fog, so we weren't able to see all of it. Reaching the other side felt quite rewarding. We were actually met by the team and Zodiac boats, but also what we had been waiting for, more fur seals.
Какие звуки интересные издают.
Yep, they will want to bite you.
Ага.
Ты идешь кусаться, маленький малыш, привет!
Antarctic fur seals are one of the most energetic and unpredictable animals you'll encounter here. They look beautiful, nice, and at the same time just trying to bite you. Fast, agile, and surprisingly confident on land. They can move much quicker than you'd expect. During the breeding seasons, males become highly territorial. However, their youngsters are also just the same, trying to attack you anytime. Their movements can actually seem playful at first, but they are wild animals, and it is important to read their behavior and try to keep away. At the same time, watching them is completely fascinating. They are curious, oh, and they are lovely. Stromness is a historic whaling station in South Georgia, now abandoned and slowly being reclaimed by nature. It is also linked to one of the most remarkable surviving stories of history. Ernst Shackleton reached Stromness after his legendary journey across South Georgia to seek rescue for his crew.
He doesn't want to leave.
I can also bark at you. Small guy, why you are attacking? Get my wife, bite my wife. I think Tanya would be really happy to grab one of those guys and just bring them home. We made it to Hercules Bay, a quiet, remote bay on South Georgia, surrounded by steep mountains and dramatic coastline.
Very miserable motive, but young gentleman.
Here we also saw some of the macaroni penguins, which are now well known because of their appearance in several Disney movies. And we were also lucky to actually meet a crew of dolphins, which just jumped in front of our ship. We didn't expect to be that lucky anyway, but guess what? We made it to Tristan de Cunha, the most remote inhabited island in the world, located in the South Atlantic Ocean. Getting here is an expedition of itself. It's incredibly remote. The nearest inhabited land, which would be St. Helena, is about 2.4 thousand kilometers away. The nearest continental landmass would be South Africa. That's 2.8 thousand kilometers away. So this makes Tristan de Cunha the most isolated, inhabited island in the world. There's a very small community living here, about 250 people. Back in 1961, the volcano erupted and pushed people out of here, but later they were supported by the government, which helped them to move back to this location. There is no airport and the access by sea is limited. So living here requires different skill set than an average person has. The waters around Tristan da Cunha are famous for their rock lobster, one of the island's main industries and a key part of local life. We've even seen chicken eating some of the lobsters. As I noted earlier, there is just about 9 to 10 ships arriving here annually, so locals have to maintain their own food supply, just in case. It is allowed to have 1 cow and 2 sheep per household, as the island will not be able to sustain more grazing. Also, this place is home to a unique colony of penguins, which look like a lot like macaroon penguins, but they're different. Couldn't help it, had to give it a try and catch some fish here. So I actually went fishing and got myself a few 5 fingers, which is actually part of the bream family. So guess what? I caught this guy using a fresh lobster too. It seems that people have settled here quite well. They have a church, a well-stocked supermarket with surprisingly reasonable prices given the destination, a decent bar, and even a small industrial area. So we left Tristan da Cunha, and we still had 4 days at sea before reaching Cape Town. But there was no time to slow down. We attended lectures, spent time with the crew, and even filmed the ship, a story of its own. You can actually find the link to it in our bio. Along the way, we met new people who quickly became friends, not just for a drink at the bar, but for future plans and reunions somewhere else in the world. And of course, we try to make sense of the 5,000 photos we will bring back from this incredible journey. If you ever have the chance to visit Antarctica, take it while you can. We guarantee you won't regret it. As it came out, one of the local traditions is also to create a handmade map of the journey, and so the team has actually depicted our route on it, and there was auction. We won, and now this masterpiece is actually residing with us at our home. Well, and also we got to try Tristan da Cunha lobsters. Honestly, there's just one downside to a trip like this. It makes it surprisingly hard to find the next destination that could even come close. Antarctica sets the bar very high. Still, the journey doesn't stop here for us. Stay tuned for our next films, and see you again soon.